evening. And joining me, of course, is the actual program director and the guru for all that we do, and that's Mr. William Gillespie.
Mr. Gillespie, welcome.
Thank you.
I'm going to go ahead and just get right into this and turn the meeting over to you. And we would love for you to share with us all that you do for the community.
Okay, great. Well, today I just wanted to share a little bit about the continuum of care and what we do. Give me 1 second. So, the continuum of care is a network designed to promote a community-wide commitment to the goal of ending homelessness. Whether it's providing funding, efforts for nonprofit providers, state and local governments to quickly rehouse homeless individuals and families, while attempting to minimize the trauma and dislocation caused to homeless individuals. The Continuum has been in operation since 2008, and one of our main programs is a program referred to as Rapid Rehousing. The Rapid Rehousing program is a program designed to help households as quickly as possible regain their footing in stable housing. We do this through the following services. We provide financial assistance for permanent housing, and the financial assistance includes deposit assistance, rental assistance up to 24 months, and right now, which is one of the most important services we provide, eviction prevention services. The eviction prevention services are capped at 6 months of back rent. The other services provided are financial assistance with utility payments and utility deposits. We provide case management, resources and referrals to child care, referrals to health care, referrals to employment, educational assistance, direct referrals for alcohol and drug services, and also life skill classes. To be eligible for our services, the household must meet the following definition of being literally homeless. The individual or family must lack a regular, fixed, adequate nighttime residence, meaning their primary nighttime residence is a public or private place not meant for human habitation. If the household is living in a publicly or privately operated shelter, designated to provide temporary living arrangements, including congregate shelters, transitional housing and hotels, and motels paid for by a charitable third-party organization or federal, state, or local government program, that would also meet the definition. And then the third definition of homelessness that we can accept a household, or that the household would need to meet, is someone exiting an institution where he or she has resided for 90 days or less, and who previously resided in an emergency shelter or place not meant for human habitation. We also provide services to individuals that meet what's referred to as Category 4. These are individuals that are fleeing or attempting to flee domestic violence, where the individual or family also meets the criteria for Category 1. Any individual or family who is fleeing or attempting to flee domestic violence are eligible for services. If they have no other residence and they lack the resources or support networks to obtain other permanent housing. And then the most important eligibility criteria for us, the household must meet the 30% area median income limit, which is the lower living standard. I can share that information individually as to the income guidelines. It's also available on our website. The required documents in order for us to determine eligibility are a valid driver's license or state ID, Social Security card for all members of the household, birth certificates, current documentation as to their gross income, whether it's fixed or from employment. Fixed meaning Social Security or TANF or unemployment compensation or child support. They also will need to provide their most recent bank statement, Documentation of assistance from other sources such as WIC, food pantries, or any type of public assistance. And the most important, homeless documentation. In order for us to accept a household into the program, that household would need to be able to provide written verification from the institution staff that the participant has been residing in that institution for less than 90 days, and any information about their previous living situation.
I'll reach out to the phenomenal women in your lives and thank them for everything that they do and everything that they will continue to do each and every day in your lives. Once again, I want to thank you for joining us in the celebration, and let's continue to reimagine Gary. Thank you.
Our first phenomenal woman of the evening, the First Lady of our city, Miss Deanna D. Prince. Miss Prince have a heart for always helping and giving. Miss Prince founded Gary's Family First Initiative, LLC, established in 2019. The mission of Family First is to encourage young couples and promote.
And we have been awarded that grant since that time. The program
families to a better quality of life. As busy as she may be, Miss Prince still have the time to nurture her 4 adult sons and
provided with resources to identify housing. We do not steer, we do not have ready-made places available. It's referred to as a scattered site process because the individual has to find their own housing and outside of any subsidized units or low income tax credit properties. Once the individual is enrolled in the program, the name of the game is self-sufficiency. We perform an assessment of the participant's needs, strengths, weaknesses, and family history. We also allow the participant to set short-term and long-term goals during this assessment. Once the household has been housed, services begin. All of the services are geared towards improving the quality of life, increasing their earning capacity, addressing any drug or alcohol treatment or mental health counseling needs, also making sure that they have completed and received all mainstream resources such as food stamps, temporary assistance for needy families, so that the household is receiving the maximum amount of support as they continue the process of leading to stable housing. The households that we serve primarily are in the Gary, Indiana area. We do have some services for individuals outside of Gary, but for the most part, our client is an individual residing in one of the emergency shelters or staying on the streets. Although our services are essential, they are in high demand right now. In order for a household to be selected, we complete what's known as a vulnerability index. The vulnerability index is a service prioritization decision assistance tool. That decision assistance tool is HUD's way of setting priorities for households. There are more individuals in need than there are funds available, and through this process, we're able to prioritize those who are most vulnerable and those who are most in need. So as you guys take this information back to the community, please share the fact that it is possible that they can be added to our wait list. With the service prioritization decision assistance tool, according to the results of that assessment, we set priority for the households to say an individual, for instance, and this is an example, a single mom with mental health is a higher priority than a single mom without a mental health diagnosis. So that way we're ensuring that the most vulnerable households are receiving assistance. That is pretty much all I have to share today, Ms. Barnes Caldwell. please let me know if you have any questions or if anyone else on the line has any questions. I'm sorry, I didn't catch that.
I'm
You're
sorry.
on mute. You're on mute.
Anyone had any questions? No? How do we contact?
Our contact number is 219-886-9966. And any individual seeking services or believing that they may be eligible for services can also set up an appointment for an assessment through our website.
And what's your website's address?
www.cocofnwi.org.
COC of NWI?
Yes, ma'am.
Right. Well, I thank you. You gave us quite a bit of information. And yes, I'm sure you all are quite busy these days.
Yes, ma'am. Incredibly busy.
Okay, well, at this time, I'm going to wait and see. Oh, yes, it's in the chat box. Okay. www.cocofnwi.org and 219-886-9966. Okay, well, maybe someone else, I have another question for you. So right now we're also going to, we are Ms. Verdine Parker from Northwest Indiana Community Action. Hello, how are you this evening? You're muted, Ms. Parker.
Hey, is that better?
It is, it is. Welcome.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you so very much, Ms. Caldwell, for this opportunity. Really grateful to be here with some of these fine organizations that we are working with every day. We are area, and I grew up in your district, so I'm especially thrilled about that. And I do outreach and education for Northwest Indiana Community Action, and I'm really thankful that our Vice President for Communications and Outreach is with us, Melissa Bohacek, and I'm going to yield to her.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Melissa.
Thank you, Bernadine. Ms. Caldwell, is it all right if I share my screen?
Yes, it is.
Okay. Think I can. Oh, you're getting all of my email. Hold on one second. I apologize.
And I am also caregiving. So if you see movement, I have family members. So please pardon me for that as well.
Are you able?
So I think I've got this.
You got that?
It's kind of slow today. Let's try one more time. Okay, that looks a little better. So for those of you, and I need to actually stop 1 second and say hello to a board member of ours who is on this call, Dr. Sharon Liggins. Hello. Thank you.
Hi there, ladies.
It's always a pleasure to have board members on, and I saw your name, so hopefully if we've missed anything, you can chime in.
And Mr. Gillespie presented for us for the continuum of care, and I'm staying so that I can support you as well. And hello, Mrs. Parker.
Good afternoon, and I enjoyed his presentation.
He was good, wasn't he?
Absolutely.
All I have to do is sit back.
Hard act to follow.
Well, that's usually the way it is with Bernadine and I. We've worked hand in hand for many years, and she's got some. She just came back, you know, from some things, and so I am always willing to help out. But usually, I sit back and she goes. Although rare, always willing to help her out. So.
And just add right here, even though Roosevelt is closed, you can see the belt don't melt because we're still able to be present and accounted for. And I'm so glad that the community, the city, the health department, whomever, has chosen that site.
Yeah, we are all excited. Just to say, and I'm going to say this, and I'm done. Not to take away from community action. I too am a Rooseveltian, and there's a standing joke, and we will say it. Mrs. Parker can hear it. I know William Gillespie's like covering his eyes, but you know, there's only two individuals in the whole city of Gary, those who live here, and it's the ones that went to Roosevelt and the ones that wish they had.
Yeah.
That's it. I have a Rooseveltian here in the other room.
Very nice. Very nice. Thank you. I love the stories. I've heard many, many stories. I didn't grow up in Indiana, but you know, if I did, I would have loved to have been a part to hear stories and be family, because Gary's an amazing community. A lot of strength, a lot of wonderful, wonderful people that I've met and had the privilege to serve. So back to Northwest Indiana Community Action. I'm relatively sure that at least we've heard of our agency. We're the Area Agency on Aging, Community Action Agency, the sponsoring WIC agency, and we used to host a 211 call center. The state of Indiana decided to centralize that, so the call center and the 211 dialing code is in Indianapolis. However, Northwest Indiana Community Action still has and operates a Resource Connections department. It's funded through the Older Americans Act. It's something that we've done since 1964, and so we're very well versed at doing that. Callers can call us. It's not the same amount of time. 211 used to be any time of our operation is 8:30 to 5. We do have a live chat that you can access through our website. But what we do for the Resource Connections is we make an assessment with our trained specialists. They answer a call, Health and Human Services, basic information. If there's a natural or man-made disaster, we're able to still provide reliable local information. And so we offer these services to people if they, you know, even if they just have a question, or if someone in their family, for example, is, God forbid, had a stroke, and now they have to all of a sudden figure out all of the dynamics that go with that. We're able to provide accurate, appropriate local resources. If it's not a service that NICA provides directly, which we provide a lot of services directly, if it's not a service that we provide directly, we will make the appropriate referral. So as you're kind of looking at the screen, I'm going to kind of just touch on these home and community-based services. That's the aging part of what we do. These are coordinated services, care management. We don't actually offer, or we don't actually perform, for example, skilled nursing. Am I back? Am I back?
You're back now.
All right. So I'm not sure where I lost you, but we don't offer, or we don't perform skilled nursing services, but we care coordinate. We create care plans, and we contract with the vendors in order to provide those services. AmeriCorps Seniors, this I'm really excited about. We just were awarded this last year, and then COVID hit. So we didn't really get started the way that we wanted to. However, AmeriCorps Seniors is for seniors 55 and older. We have two programs. Foster grandparents, those individuals go into schools or in some cases Head Starts and daycare, and they help with students who I'm going to turn my video off and just talk if that's all right. A lot
Okay,
of
go right ahead.
well,
It's working. Go right ahead. Hello.
Um,
I'm going to chime in. This is Bernadine.
okay, go
And
ahead, Ms. Parker.
okay, I'll chime in and we'll play tag.
Okay.
At any rate, the Senior Companions, it was a program that many of you may have known several years ago through Catholic Charities, the local sponsor. And we are now continuing to assist people in their homes. And sometimes it can be something simple like keeping a person company, heating up a meal, or doing light but very helpful and necessary things that can assist a person who is age 55 and over, who may have an income challenge as well. And the program is also itself, in many cases, assists people or let's see, I'm not going to say employ, but let's see, people who are involved in the program conducting the service are people sometimes have income challenges as well, but not necessarily. We also have the foster grandparents program, and because we're in this new era, I don't want to call it COVID, but whatever we want to call our current situation, we are actually seeking locations for the senior foster grandparents to be involved. Some of those locations are schools, different settings where youth may be, libraries. So we are actively seeking partners to assist us in giving access to those young people who may need an older person, a more mature person to pay one-on-one or group attention. And in society now, it seems as though there's a greater disconnect than there used to be when it comes to the generations, and we want to fill that gap. And welcome back, Melissa.
You're muted, Melissa. Okay.
Thank you. Bernadine, I know you did a great job while I was out. Thank you for that. I knew we can kind of work and tag this together, but I heard you finishing up AmeriCorps Seniors. So right now, in case Bernadine didn't mention, I wanted to just mention that we do have COVID safe volunteer opportunities in this program, because we know that there's still COVID out there, and so there are also older adults who are isolated, can't get out of their homes, feeling really lonely, and this is just an amazing opportunity for us to do FaceTime. We offer iPads actually for individual volunteers to connect with these seniors in this program. Ombudsman, we have 2 ombudsmen there. They are working with the state right now. This is a really busy, important program because they're the liaison between institutions, nursing facilities, long-term care, housing for and residents and their caregivers. So, a lot of times before COVID, our ombudsman would tell us that it could be something like, they won't give me the right food, I don't like what they're serving, and that it's important because that relates to their quality of life, obviously. But now we're seeing a lot of, I can't get in to see my mom, or how long can I take her out for, different things like that we haven't seen. So we employ 2 ombudsmen for Northwest Indiana for 6 counties. So that is another service that we offer. The oversight on that is actually provided by the Indiana State Department of Health. Prevention and health promotion, I'm going back up to the top. These are evidence-based programs that we offer. We don't offer them all the time year-round, but we do scatter them throughout the counties. Vernadine is actually one of our leads on these programs. Things like Matter of Balance. A lot of times our older adults have trouble with falls or balance, and it can be a very serious problem for individuals who are older, and so we can help manage that for them. Chronic disease self-management, living healthy with diabetes, building better caregivers. Those are programs that we offer that, again, are evidence-based. So we know that when participants work these programs for the 6 or 8 weeks that they are designed for, they actually have outcomes that improved health outcomes.
And we are so glad that we are now about to start some of the virtual, well, we've done some virtual programming and we're about to expand it. And so we're gathering names for our waiting lists for those programs that can be done via telephone or computer.
Thank you, Vernadine. See, we should do this together. Help out so much. And I knew she would plug her latest one, so that's great. They have a lot of amazing programs and get to really know each other. The participants get to know each other. And again, if I didn't mention, or Vernadine didn't mention, because a lot of these programs are federal and state funded, there is no cost to participate in these programs. A lot of times we'll need you to register.
Some of you may be interested in Dementia Friends Indiana.
That's right. And so Dementia Friends Indiana is just what it sounds like when individuals are faced with someone living at home or someone near and dear to them who has a diagnosis of Alzheimer's or dementia. This is a program that is very easy to understand. It's an hour-long workshop that we host, and we can do that virtually as well. Financial services, a lot of you have heard probably about VITA, our volunteer income tax assistance program. The VITA program was set to end, but the IRS has extended the deadline until May 17th. And so there is still the opportunity for individuals who make $55,000 or less a year to drop off their taxes at NICA and then pick them up a week. They'll be prepared by our certified preparers, and then you can pick them up next, the following week. So that's an opportunity that we have. Individual savings accounts. Oh, Vernadine, sorry.
Just inserting there that we're one of the few entities that will also do taxes later in the year. So if you find someone who's late, or perhaps they have not filed in a few years and they meet the income guidelines she stated, then after they take a little short break to complete the tax year, then in the summertime, we kind of go back into the tax season again until early autumn.
Oh, very good.
Yep. Thank you, Vernadine. And the individual savings account, the IDA program, is a program that does involve financial education. But at the end, you can realize your 4-to-1 match, state matched money. So you open a checking account for every dollar that you put in. The state puts in either 4 or 3, depending on the length of the program. And then you can use that to go back to school, start a business, purchase a vehicle, or receive a job training. I think there's home repair as well. I apologize. There's home repair as well. And so that's a financial services program that we offer. I just want to also put in a plug, the Northwest Indiana Reinvestment Alliance. Many of you have heard about that. They're having a event on April the 6th. And I can get that information. I don't have it out, but we'll also be presenting in conjunction with Money Smart Week. Resource Connections, I already mentioned about Resource Connections, so I won't talk about that again. That is our 211 information and assistance. ADRC is if you call our Resource Connections, you'll be connected to long-term care counseling support if you have questions about Medicaid or Medicare, state health insurance planning. That's a little bit more tailored to the aging for information and assistance. Energy programs. Just one more. And so energy programs is our energy assistance program. We actually have a CARES Act money that expands that program. And so we always ask people to apply for energy assistance, especially now with COVID, if they maybe weren't income eligible for this program, couldn't get utility assistance before, but now have had experienced a loss of income, they can apply and help to get some extra assistance on their utilities. Nutrition programs, this is one of the programs that we're not actually running the same way that we ran prior to COVID. So for a year, we've been doing curbside delivery or home delivery for seniors because we don't want them to be in a congregate meal setting. So this program is running a little bit differently, like I said, but it's still running. All of our programs are operating in some fashion so that there was no loss of service during this last year. And we have made thousands of phone calls. I think the count was 7,000 last week in just vaccine phone calls, making sure that our clients, our older adults, those on care plans, if they got have they gotten the vaccine, and also do they need any extra support? Because again, I can't stress the isolation that people are feeling is really a serious problem right now, and even just a phone call. So I'll ask everyone on this call, if you know someone who's a neighbor, a friend, a church mate, seatmate, just check in on them and make sure that they're doing all right. Housing Choice Voucher Program, this is known as Section 8. We actually run that program. It's only open by wait list, and it happens very rarely. And so you'll see the place to look for wait lists opening are sometimes on our Facebook account or always in the newspaper under the legal ads. We're required to run an ad stating that the wait list is open. So the Family Caregiver Program, this is becoming more robust. It hasn't been as robust as we had liked in the past, but for those individuals who are struggling with caregiving or who need some respite or who could just use a little extra long-term care support, our care managers can work those into the care plans. And then I just heard that Vernadine got certified for a Building Better Caregivers program. So I'm excited to learn more about that, and congratulations to Vernadine. And then finally, you see Women, Infant, and Children. I think we all are aware of that program. If not, let me know. This is, I don't know if you all have heard, the cat's out of the bag, and construction has started on our 5th and Broadway 38 unit mixed use housing project that we're building. Our WIC that is currently in University Park is going to move to that building once it's open. There will be 38 loft style apartments. There'll be a little bit of commercial space. It'll be net zero, which means that we will strive to have energy consumption at zero, and we'll have some kind of transportation ride share. So we've been working on this with the state, with IHCDA since 2015, and they are finally at the part where there are trucks and movers of dirt, and I think last report there was even some wood there. So we're very excited that it's happening. I think it'll be what we really want out of this space is not just another building. We really want this to be community. Faith Farms is going to have some community gardens on site, and I can't wait. I'm thrilled about it. And so right now, WIC is meeting virtually. We're not seeing WIC patients. I think as of last check, we're not seeing patients or participants face to face. So I know that was a lot. I apologize. We do a lot, and we love doing a lot. So thank you for the opportunity. Thank you for the time. This has been amazing, and we really appreciate it.
Thank you. You shared so much with us.
Do you mind if I just add one item?
Yes, ma'am.
And that is that this is just a question that, when we're out hearing what people are saying, we want to address some of those questions they may have. And concerning the low-income energy assistance, this year we have had the state approached it a different way because of the COVID crisis. And so you will find that some people, we have drop boxes, we have a different way to apply, where people can apply, and it's touchless, so it is safer for our clients. And there is, however, what's the word? The response time is not as fast because the state dictated how things are done. So we are urging folk to not depend upon this payment. And in the past, some people may have had a crisis and they just run in at the last minute. And this year it won't work it doesn't work really well that way. The utility companies have been urged to work more closely with folk to set up payment plans, but they need to go ahead and talk to the utility companies so that they can establish some kind of payment arrangement, because that money may not show up. I think at one point it was 55 days for processing. And this was the state. It was not our choosing. But since it is a fact, we want people just to be aware that there may be some lag time before the money shows up in their accounts.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you so much. Like I said, you shared so much with us, and we thank you for what you do for the community. How can we contact you? What do we need to do to contact you? What information do we need?
I can put it in the chat if that's helpful. Our 800 number is the best way. We actually have a live person answering the phone. So when you call, you will get an automated, if you already know your extension. But if not, the next thing you'll get is a live person to answer that and help kind of triage. You can ask her a question, or she'll tell you, send you to the correct department. 1-800-826-7871. You can always type info@nwi-ca.org. And then our website is nwi-ca.com.
Oh, wonderful.
Thank you.
I don't see any questions in the chat. So, do you have anything else you would like to share with us? I see that you said that you do. Oh, are there any volunteer opportunities with Continuum of Care in Northwest Indiana or Northwest Indiana Community Action? I know it's more difficult during COVID. Would love to help you more if possible. That's from Sarah from Rise, Northwest Indiana. Thank you, Sarah.
I guess I'll go for the continuum first before Melissa and Bernadine. With the continuum of care, there are those particular opportunities. COVID has slowed it down. Presently, we are working with AARP for the 55 and over group that will be actually able to give us some services as a part of their particular program. And then we actually are going to be working with the students from both IU and Purdue and their internship. If someone is interested in volunteering, however, and I'll re-give that number, there is that opportunity. There are times in which we are in need of getting things out to the shelters. It does not make you vulnerable because with the PPE equipment, we're able to use that. So the opportunities could exist. And I'll redo the phone number if anyone has an interest in volunteering. And that's for the continuum.
Okay, thank you. Northwest. Yes.
Thank you. Yeah, sorry, thank you. So our AmeriCorps program, you can volunteer to be a foster grandparent or a senior companion. And again, there's COVID safe ways to do that. And also our volunteer income tax assistant program, it's completely volunteer run. There aren't any paid, well, there's 2 paid staff members, but everyone else is a volunteer. So if you're interested in preparing taxes or providing companionship or attachment tutoring, you can contact us and we'll be happy to get you started. There is a volunteer application on our website.
Absolutely, and some of the evidence-based programs will be looking for volunteers as well for facilitating the programs. And that same process, if you let them know that you may have interest there, there's some training involved, but it's all free. And there's some rewards that can't really be measured.
Okay. With your tax preparation, accounting background required?
Luckily for people like me, there is not an accounting background required. A lot of times what they need is someone to greet customers. Sometimes they need runners, taking taxes and files back and forth. This year, not so much because they've been mostly drop off. But if you're willing and able, then we absolutely can use you. Don't need to have any kind of accounting background. I hear that the training is relatively easy, but I'm not convinced. I don't think anyone wants me doing that for them, but I have prepared or have done the running and the faxing, and it's a lot of fun.
You said that you all will have a new facility, a new building built on, you said 5th and Broadway in Gary?
7th.
7th and Broadway. Okay.
Dr.
Right.
Ligon, you're right. Thank you.
I grew up. I grew up in Gary, so don't worry about it. You were just right on board. We all get a little confused. It's for those who grew up in the city. It's right in front of where old Memorial Auditorium used to be, and across from the Federal Building, right next to where Kresge's was.
Yes, ma'am.
That lot.
I'm even more excited now. Okay, so as things progress, you all will come out with a list of for housing, for businesses, for everything. Wonderful. You all just do so much. I knew you all did a lot, but I didn't know you did as much as until you started talking about it today. Normally, I'm used to hearing about assistance with utility bills, Meals on Wheels, and yeah, just those were the two number one things that you're famous for. But okay.
Right, and if we can just tag into that statement,
yes,
the nutrition program is so comprehensive because we're used to, and me too, I have done some so-called Meals on Wheels a long time, and Meals on Wheels in this area is branded the local Meals on Wheels program. There's also some other meals, for example, some are home delivered meals. Some can come in a crate and be delivered by UPS on ice and pop in the microwave. And there are different other brands out there. It's really wonderful that they can assess what the need is and try to meet that need.
When I used to do home health, I had a couple of patients that received mom's meals. So
yes, ma'am.
Okay, well, closing remarks from both facilities.
Oh, and thank you, Melissa. It just occurred to me, there is an article in the state, not community services, but the state housing magazine about some of the services that were rendered by our housing staff during this time, delivering canned goods and some other non-perishables to people in need.
Okay, wonderful. Ms. Parker or Melissa or both?
We talked so much. I just, again, really appreciate the opportunity to get on here. Would love to do it again if given the future opportunity. And we'll just make sure that when we do send out information that, we add everybody who is interested in getting that information.
Okay, and you said you have a Facebook page?
We do.
I may follow you, I'm not sure, but if I don't, I definitely will start following. Mm-hmm.
That would be great, yes, thank you.
Dr. Liggins, Mr. Gillespie?
Mr. Gillespie had other things he had to do.
Okay.
There's no other information other than to let you know that the continuum of care has been a part of the IHCDA program for the rental assistance that started in March. We've continued to assist with that. We were joined by Sojourner Truth House to do the rental assistance program coming from the state's ESG-CV COVID CARES Act. We are continuing to complete that, but just a really reminder that the entire state of Indiana received U.S. Treasury funds to support, again, more of the rental assistance programs. And there were 7 cities and or counties outside of the state within Indiana that actually applied for their own money from U.S. Treasury. Just so you're aware, and I think everyone knows that the Lake County, what they call IREA, which is the rental assistance program, is in functioning. It is through the Geminus Corporation. Well, actually the money went to the Lake County Economic Development, and they let that out to the Geminus Corporation. That submittal portal is literally open. And I apologize. I wish I had it to memory. I thought I did, but in case anyone is interested, they can always go to the county website and or to actually the Indiana website or ICDA website, and that will also add for the portal for this particular money. So there's other
I
dollars.
got you, Dr. Liggins.
Thank you.
www.lakecountyin.care.
Correct. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Would you put that in the chat box, please? Thank you.
And if anyone would like to add to that, so that there is funding that is now available for the Lake County residents. Actually the county got 14 million, but there's 13 million that is being floated through, that will be going through the Geminus Corporation, and they are utilizing several other organizations to be a part of it. Salvation Army, Catholic Charities. Is NICA part of it, Melissa?
We are reviewing applications, so we're partners, but not public facing.
Okay, all right. But you do review the applications. Will they be able to come to NICA to be supported, or will they have to just do it through the submittal?
Yeah, as far as I know, it'll all be through online submittal.
Okay, and as has been in the past. So just so you are aware, Councilwoman Caldwell, that particular program is up and running. Actually, it was a soft serve starting yesterday, from what I was told, and will be moving through until those funds are totally evaporated. And they are utilizing the index of 80% and below AMI. They also do funds in the arrear. The part of that is utilities, including water, utility, etc. And that funding is going to be good at this particular point if you are actually admitted to the program, and they will assist with the rent and or the utilities 12 months.
Oh, wonderful. Wonderful.
And there are some caveats that are the details that those who are involved will be engaging in, including how that works with the utility, because the utility will include, believe it or not, internet, but it has to be very specific to the job, proof of a job you need it, and or school-age children within the community that will need to have access to internet. So it's a tremendous program. It's U.S. Treasury, and they are front-loading it. So we're very happy about that. Melissa and Bernadine, anything else on that one? That would be mine.
No, just outside of Lake County, they would use the IHCDA. But yeah, for Lake County, it's that website is perfect. Thank you so much. I'm so glad you were on here.
Not really. just so you know, the rest of the state does have that same capability of funding, but we were very fortunate that economic development for Lake County under Tim Brown applied for those particular U.S. Treasury funds, and it brought in the partners, and now you heard the overall action. So we're delighted for that. It will help with the continuation of the rental assistance program that Indiana Housing and Community Development Authority actually initiated. They also had a program that was working specifically what they call the RAF program that was for landlords. That program has now sunset, but it was a $2,000 check to the landlords, a one-time set. The present IHCDA program has yet to have the sunset come. And just so everybody is aware, to reiterate, the moratorium for the rental that you cannot be evicted has now been moved to June of 2021. We are very fortunate. It should have sunset on yesterday, but it has now been expanded. There is a form that renters should be able to get or use, and if in fact there's any difficulty, I guess they could call us at 886, and I put the number in. To get that form, they can fill it out and give it to their landlord to demonstrate they still are in need, and their moratorium will continue through June. That's it for me.
Great, thank you.
Dr. Liggins.
Dr. Liggins, Mrs. Parker, and Miss Melissa. I'll mess up your last name. thank you all so much. And please let Mr. Gillespie know he did a fabulous job. But thank you so much for providing this information to the citizens of Lake County, Northwest Indiana. In the chat box, they say you're doing a wonderful job. What a team you do, Northwest.
NICA.
You are NICA proud, yes.
That was from me to them. I'm like, aren't they fabulous?
I thank you. And with the meeting, it'll run on our Facebook page, so citizens can come in and take a look at it and get the information that you all provided. So again, thank you each of you all for taking time out of your busy schedules to come out and inform the community about what you all do. And Ms. Vernice, thank you for showing up.